is the USA, the near neighbours from North America. Hit out here. Canada lead 20-16 with one tied in the series, and they drew actually in Las Vegas back last month. 26 points all. The indications then said to me that Canada were coming good, but they flattered to deceive in Hong Kong last weekend. They lost out to Russia in the Shield final. USA, they lost to England in the plate final, but Mike Friday's got some exciting talent in that squad, and none more so perhaps than number 11 Perry Baker under the captaincy of Madison Hughes. Canada led by John Moonlight, and they've had to call in one or two replacements during the last week, and they will be looking to get off to a flying start here, just as France did a few minutes ago. So the teams enter the field of play, and the crowd certainly in good spirits following that victory by France over New Zealand. And left stunned by that result is my co-commentator here from New Zealand, Willie Losay.
Yeah, not too stunned actually. When I think that France had a chance to win last week in Hong Kong against New Zealand. Well, New Zealand just showed their class, and they are down on numbers, no excuses. As I mentioned at the top of this broadcast, it's all about the top 2 inches in this second week of the competition.
Yeah.
Who wants it more, who's prepared the best, and who wants to get the job done.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Mike Adamson from Scotland, a former Sevens representative himself. He will have played here actually in Singapore some 10 seasons ago. Plenty of experience.
USA, yeah.
And he'll need it here. Nathan Hirayama, the man with ball in hand. 43 tournaments now for Canada. Hirayama looking to drop the kickoff just on the 10-metre line to give his forwards a chance of reclaiming the kickoff. Lucas Hammond, he's the man that wears 7. And Canada will be looking to get this man into play as often as is possible. Mike fully foul, but a rare error from him early on, and we've seen quite a few handling errors in both of the opening matches. Back there for the USA is Madison Hughes. Is in dangerous territory here. Well played there by Madison Hughes. His 16th try in his Sevens career.
Take it back to the turnover. Fully foul. Lost the ball, and then they just shifted it into the midfield, and Madison Hughes put ball to the boot, and then he just had too much pace. No sweeper in behind for Canada. And they are a team on the improve, our Team USA.
So Hughes taking a deep breath, get that heart rate down. As he lines up the conversion from the near touchline, the odd conversion missed here and there can make all the difference in this pool again. Just scrapes the paintwork. But USA lead Canada early on by 5-0. Mike Friday, he's the USA coach, former England coach, former England Sevens representative. USA just dropping it on the 10-metre line. This is the dynamic Perry Baker. Just keeping his eye on the ball, his eye on the prize as well.
He scored one similar last week in Hong Kong, where he went up and claimed the ball from the kickoff. This not as spectacular, but once he got into the backfield, it's good night nurse. He's just got too much pace. And Canada struggling at the set pieces. They're not competitive in the air there, and they're basically gifting a 7-pointer to the USA.
And when you consider, Willie, that this young man is still learning the game to all intents and purposes, but he is a quick learner, is Perry Baker. Look, second on the try-scoring table this season with 37. People expect something special from Perry Baker every time he gets the ball in his hands, and there he is again. And Mike Friday utilising his pace at the restart. That's a good ploy. There's a threat here for Canada on the outside. John Moonlight never saw Zach Test running down the far touchline. And it's a third try in as many minutes for the US of A, in danger of running away with this one.
First start for Zac Test here in Singapore. It's the first game, but wasn't started much in Hong Kong. And look at that, the kick was where the try was scored. Again, Baker at the kickoff. I keep going back to the set pieces, but unless you can win the kickoffs, you're going to struggle in sevens. I think one of the stats shows that 88% of the teams that win the kickoff score next, and Zac Test there with 132 in the all-time list.
Well, when you saw that all-time list, Nick Edwards, Carlin Isles as well, and this guy Zac Test is still up there and competing, because very often Zac Test was the difference between winning and losing. But Mike Friday has kept faith in Zac Test, and that faith has been repaid by the man wearing 5 for the US of A, and they lead 17-0.
Tell you a great stat. Canada have passed the ball 6 times, the United States once, and the USA lead by 17.
Perry Baker is there again to palm the ball down. Didn't go forward, but advantage here to Canada. Nathan Hirayama tipping it backwards. Moonlight. There's a lot of work to do here under pressure from Zac Test.
Ball's away. Play the man without the ball.
So he'll get the penalty. Nathan Hirayama. Canada have missed his services in recent times. Long-term injury, not back to his very best as yet, perhaps. Nathan Hirayama, such a valuable player.
Sealing off.
Canada without the resilient little Phil Mack as well. There's a few other besides. Nick Dala, Liam Underwood, Mike Schultz, Adam Zaruba, and Admir Chivanovic after Hong Kong last weekend. Danny Barrett. Remember all that destructive duo, Barrett and Bender. Perry Baker, hold on to something tight and solid. Not this time. Good running here from Martin Iosefo. Good hands from Iosefo. Finds Danny Barrett on his inside shoulder. Iosefo gathers, spins, delivers into midfield. That's Folauniwa. Neat little step, just dazzling and blinding the opposition for a split second. That's all it takes. Here is Bender. Not quite going to hand. Nudged forward by a Canadian hand. Barrett against Fulifau. That's a big matchup. USA patient for the greater part. The bounce is kind, and Zac Test is through for his second try, and the USA's fourth.
Yeah, you just read it beautifully. Zac Test picks up a brace, but it was just the patience that they showed, the big guys doing the work on the outsides. And there's the kick from Europe. He got the word from Zac Test. Test gave him the look, told him to put it on the carpet, put it on the ground, and he didn't. And as a rugby ball does on every so number of revolutions, it bounces up and Test is in again for another try.
They're using the experience of all of his 60 tournaments now, Zac Test. So 4 tries on the score sheet. We've not arrived at half-time yet, and he's also, Zac Test, the all-time points scorer for the United States. Rapidly caught up there by Madison Hughes, who has far fewer World Rugby Sevens tournaments to his name, just 20. This being his 21st. 24-0. Say kick long as the gong goes for half-time. Connor Traynor hasn't seen the ball in the opening 7 minutes, let alone get it in his hands.
No hands!
There it is. It's tucked up under the feet of Justin Douglas. Hirayama finds Moonlight looking to barge his way through the USA defense. Zac Test, well, he's a potent attacker, he's a solid defender too. Hammond brushes aside Perry Baker. He won't get away though. Ball touched forward, and that'll be it for the opening 7 minutes. And what a 7 minutes it has been for Mike Friday's side, leading by 4 tries to nil, and by 22 to nil. That man Zac Test claiming 2 of those tries.
saw. We must keep pushing the scoreboard. Okay?
Yep.
We must have pride in our try line and keep a 0. Clear?
This is that no fucking
Yeah.
bubbles time.
Yeah.
You put the fucking hands on the throat and you hold them down
Let's go.
now. That's
No
what we
more
do.
bubbles, no more bubbles.
Brothers on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Ruthless boy.
Yep. Yeah. USA get to restart with a comfortable lead and cushion of 24 points to 0 for Launiua. An expert kick claimed again by Perry Baker. The offload to Donny Barrett, who's away. And the USA start the second half as they finish the first. On song.
And it's that man Perry Baker in the air again. He's like an AFL player in Australia. He's like a basketball that just has so much hang time. Look at him. Straight up claims it, and then he gives it to the big unit, Barrett. And Barrett didn't need a second invitation to the try line.
Great score. The only question now is when will Mike Friday release Nate Ebner for his first taste in many a year of World Rugby Sevens, the Super Bowl champion medalist. I think he's stretching himself on the sidelines at the moment. That'll be a great moment for him. Canada snap up the loose ball, 31-0 adrift.
Advantage over.
Hirayama so often the catalyst for everything that's good about Canadian rugby, but then you have the likes of Kieran Hearn and Phil Mack in close support. Connor Traynor at last released. Perry Baker gives chase, catches him on the 22. It's there for Matt Mullins, the newcomer this season. Test again in with the tackle board. What a tremendous player this Perry Baker is turning out to be.
There he is, but Connor Traynor looked like a possum in the headlights once he got into the backfield. He should have just backed his pace. Make the chaser actually come to him as opposed to looking around for support. That's the first clean break Canada have actually had, and a disappointing way to finish. This Canadian side is better than what we're seeing here in Singapore in their opening match. I know attending their luncheon last week in Hong Kong that there was big hopes in these two tournaments, and they stay together in Victoria. They train a lot, spending a lot of time, but the results just haven't gone their way.
So Maka Unufe is on for the USA in place of Perry Baker, but Zach Test is still there. Well, there was a time when he played every minute of every game.
Holding on.
What a tremendous player is Zach Test. Canada looking for a score of their own through Phil Burner. Last featured in Wellington back in February. It's consistency of selection, hampered by injuries while Liam Middleton has it hard and difficult, but Nate Hirayama finds a gap somewhere. There isn't a smile on the face though, but the man was celebrating 70 tries now in his career.
He's a quality player too, Nate Hirayama. The architect, the backbone, the real bloodline of this Canadian side over the last few years, and on this occasion.
Well, what a moment it is for this man on leave of absence from the New England Patriots professional American team, and Nate Ebner. He's been released by the Patriots to chase an Olympic gold medal. And he played actually for the USA as a 17-year-old. Let's see how he goes.
Hope he doesn't expect a huddle after every 10 or 15 seconds.
Well, I wonder how he'll feel after he gets the first hit from John Moonlight. Calm down. Retracing his steps, Garrett Bender, he was the captain, is there. Can't secure possession though. That's the USA try line in the background. Justin Douglas to Hammond. Ducks under the tackle of Nate Ebner. Don't want to be hit by that guy. 100 kgs, out it goes, and suddenly Canada have found their feet. Phil Burner, just his second try from the UBC Thunderbirds.
Well done, Canada. Applying pressure on to Team USA inside their own 22 and then just holding on to possession. They had numbers out to the left, and that's where they shifted it. This is a much better second half from the Canadian team, and no changes have been made for Team USA win, but let's not take away anything. The pressure that the Canadians are now putting on the Americans.
31-14, 2.5 minutes remaining of this second half.
Say again.
Neytiriyama just considering options here as the USA, they've put up 3 pods of 2, just tempting Nathan Hirayama to kick the ball to them. Opts for centre field in the end, where Martin Iosefo waits and almost gets away from Luke Bradley, and this is Maka Unufe. Still not back to full fitness, so Mike Friday giving him a run out here. Niwa to Unufe yet again, he of the dancing feet. Good angle from Madison Hughes, down Madison Avenue. And the USA rack up the points.
What about the footwork off the captain as well? 47th try, and the proud sweeper for Canada, Sean White. He looked like he was stuck in cement. Have a look at this. The line that Anufi runs draws the defence across. The late cut there from Hughes, and here comes White, and there goes White. Great play from Madison Hughes.
It's a simple game, isn't it, Willie? Let the ball do the work. Minute 30. Still time for more points. More tries here in the opening day of the HSBC World Rugby Sevens in Singapore.
And once again showing the importance of the kick-off. They tempted Canada to kick to them where they had the pods, and Iosefo went up and claimed it.
Well, we talk about set pieces, don't we? The scrum and the line out. But the restart, the kick-off, that's the third set piece where there is an opportunity to claim possession and to reclaim possession even. Because in sevens, it's the try-scoring team that kicks off.
Like a good friend of mine said, when it's not rocket surgery.
Time on.
He didn't go to the same school as you, Willie. I don't think. Or was he sitting next to you in class?
He was sitting next to me in class. I agreed with him.
Oh, that's a beaut. Nate Ebner. He's a big lad, isn't he?
Here's my lad.
27-year-old, native of Ohio.
Make sure you bind on him. Just stay in the scrum till the ball's out.
Falls out, come connect with
Takes
your right.
his place in the middle of that front row. That'll be a new
Fresh.
experience for him.
Bind. Set.
I think he's going to develop a reputation and a name for himself in the short code. A number of crossover players, of course, in recent years have made the USA Sevens side. Canada in the hunt for another try. They might get it, you know. They might not.
I like the way what Nate Douglas did there, is that he didn't hold back. He decided to have a go. And that's the big difference, in a copybook tackle coming in on him as well. And have a look at this. He broke into the clear. Did Justin Douglas rather, and then he just pinned his ears back. That's what you've got to do when you get into the backfield, and then the tackle came across. It was effective right around the bootlace.
So we're into referee time at the end of the game. Stepping out of the field of play is Falao. The USA have stepped out into this fantastic dome, which is the National Stadium at Kelang in Singapore, and they've stunned Canada with an opening salvo in the first half and rounded it off in the second, and a full-time score which reads United States 30.